Hello, everybody. Good morning. Maria Banga here. Maria Banga, your motivational speaker, your inspirational author, and founder of the association Hope for the Abused and the Battered, lawyer, Anyway, so this morning I want to do a kind of general inspiration and motivation and encouragement with regards to applications for jobs, for volunteering positions, with regards to the CV, to the cover letter, with regards to you. Because I have just come to realize that something is missing somewhere. There's a disconnect between the so many youths who are crying out foul for jobs and volunteering positions and blaming the country, blaming people, blaming, and the available opportunities. And I have sat on both sides of the table for years. So I can speak now from the point of a desperate youth and from the point of a potential employer. It just happens that I am also kind of looking for people now, building a team, starting with volunteers for my organization. And as much as I don't need many people, as much as I want to get qualified people, not qualified in terms of the certificates you have, but qualified in terms of your willingness to learn and to do, execute the tasks which are necessary, for the evolution and successful implementation of the project I have at hand, and also for the growth of the organization. Whether we admit it or not, sometimes you have to start by volunteering, and yes, people have had a bad impression about it. People have been taken for granted. People want to exploit people, and then they say you're volunteering for like ever and ever. All of those things happen. But now look at it from your own points. Let me start from the point of view of the applicant. I want to look at applications, and I want to start by saying you should avoid doing generic applications, especially when you have specific job offers. If they ask, they're looking for a public relations officer. You even if they don't tell you exactly what they would expect you to do, you can go on Google and read about the profile for a public relations officer. And in your application, you talk about public relations officer, what the public relations officer does, and what you can do if you are given that opportunity. That's what you should be talking about in your applications. Don't go and talk about all what you have learned in school and what you can do from all over the areas, or that you can do anything, stuff like that. It actually makes it boring. Nobody wants to read a generic application, like I am this, I was born this. Those things, just try to make them small. Focus on the job. That is why even your academic credentials should not take up much space. Don't write paragraphs about each degree and each school you went to. Gone are those days. A CV should be 1 or 2 maximum pages. That time when we used to see 5 pages, 10 pages and we'll be impressed, that time has passed. People don't have time to read like that. So try to market yourself in your application. You don't know how much time that person has to read your documents. So just tell yourself, if they stop only at the first page, can they make an impression, or they have to go through all the pages? So what is it you can offer based on the job position? If you don't see the details, no problem. Sometimes some people write and say, what are we going to be doing? Does it really matter? Especially when we come to, for example, volunteers. Go and Google, what does volunteer mean? I may need a volunteer for a specific task, for example, record keeping. But you generally don't take volunteers for such serious tasks. And in an organization, which is especially a young one, you go and research, find out about the organization. Don't begin to ask people questions in their messenger and stuff. I don't even think that that shows any etiquette. You cannot be applying just because maybe you know the person on Facebook. You start following them up on Facebook Messenger. You are asking all kinds of questions. Who has time to be replying to those kind of questions? And for me, it's like lack of seriousness. You should actually use that time to go to the organization's Facebook page, learn about them, go to their website if there is one, learn about them, be asking people questions. Don't ask the person themselves. That is like You want to maybe bring that thing of like man, no man. It doesn't work. It may work elsewhere, but with me or with much more serious organizations, it doesn't work. I have gotten opportunities from people who don't know me and I don't know them based on the CV. And even my family, they know me when they're working with me. If I can do it, it is based on what I can do. It is not based on man, no man. And I will hate it for anybody to give me an opportunity just because they know me. Or maybe they know my mother. Because if I cannot do it now, you will start to feel like, oh, well, but I gave it to you because I knew you, I knew your mom. No, don't do that. Or I wouldn't do that. So if you are going to volunteer somewhere, don't go because you think, oh, the person knows me and, well, there's the opportunity. She will give it to me because I'm her cousin or I'm her friend's friend, her friend's sister, those kind of things. Maybe in civil service, it works that way. But this is somebody who had to come at 8 o'clock. The time is 11 minutes past 9. Do they think I'm going to even pick or receive them? And this is somebody I sent an email to on Sunday, setting them for an interview on Monday. They didn't reply to that email. The whole of Monday, each time I checked Facebook, they were online. They were actually liking my post and all of those things. But now they didn't. I was very nice to go to Messenger and ask them if they checked their emails. And they first told me, oh no, they have not been online the whole day. And I told them a few times when I saw them online. And then they just say, okay, ma'am. And then I write to them by email, telling them when to come, where to come, at what time. And I was ready sitting here on my chair at 7:45. And I told them to be on time. They don't come at 8 o'clock. They don't write to say, I'm sorry, there's some traffic or something, I'll be there. And then they show up at 9 and then they're calling. So that I should do what? What kind of seriousness is that? Even if it's just for a volunteer. You don't know what will happen after that volunteer. See, I volunteered, I interned, let's use the words interchangeably, in the European Parliament for 6 months. Yes, I had stipends or I was paid because I asked for it, because they had even said it was an unpaid position. But after that, I stayed home for 1 month. But because I knew the lady had she was planning on creating an NGO and everything, once in a while I would just send a hi email. She would not reply, but I knew that she was seeing it and she was probably thinking about retaining me because I had done my best. And she was very happy with the output. And of course, she called me up and then she just offered me that job and said, well, I just need you to stay on as this Regional Manager Africa, small me like that, just because of what I had done so well while I was interning. I did not take it for granted at all. I did not mind that I was on 600 euros and other people were doing the same thing and they were on thousands of euros and everything. I ended up getting also to 1,000 and more euros and everything. But if I had minimized the small one, so even if as a volunteer you will have just 50K, for example, for transportation or 30 or whatsoever, do your best. You never know. When she is calling me now, what am I supposed to do? You know, shout at her or give her an opportunity, listen to her, let her tell me what. It is nerving, it is irritating. It is as if all you are sitting there to do is to help them out, to listen to. And this is somebody who has a master's. You know, it is true that there are situations, things happen and everything, but who should understand that? It's like they don't happen in my own life too, or in the lives of employers. Sometimes we think, oh, because Dangote has all the money, Dangote should just employ everybody. Or his HR person. Everywhere it is strenuous. I worked in MTN. Man, rigorous. And you have to, look, if it is, you have to put in 20 hours, you will put in those hours. Whether you have a baby today and you cannot come tomorrow, then you lose those 8 hours, for example. You have to respect the time. You have to be serious about what you write. You have to read before you click send on any email. You have to make sure your subject line is proper. You have to make sure you start politely. You have to make sure you end politely. You have to make sure you attach something. Don't say find attach and then there's no attachment. Especially after you've gone like to university or stuff. As you are talking about those things, then it means that you should behave like somebody who has gone through all of that. That is why I say apply with the same studiousness you would for a full-time job. You will get stipends, not wages, and so what? Deal with that or don't apply. And take the tax seriously, or else it could be terminated. I could tell you, okay, I'm sorry, you're not doing well. Trial period is not only for jobs, even for volunteers. I'm not obliged to keep you, even if I told you it was for the duration of the project 1 year. But if you cannot do well, man, after a month or anything, I'm like, I'm sorry. Or you yourself could also tell me, I'm moving on, madam, I found something better. No obligation. With volunteers, you sign that kind of free agreement. Like you're coming in on this. Some people don't even sign it. Okay, fine. So the next thing I want to talk about is your CV. I had already mentioned a little bit. Put all relevant information, including hobbies. I once had a CV, there were no hobbies, and I was like, why are there no hobbies? And so I put it out there on Facebook, and people were like, no, you should generally put your hobbies. And I'm like, yes, of course, put your hobbies. Because if you don't put hobbies, it looks like you're either pretending that you don't have hobbies, or you mean to say you really don't have hobbies. Like, what else would you do other than work? And then what are your other competencies that we could actually use now in this assignment? If somebody likes writing or reading, it means they can actually do research. It means they could write some briefs, or they could write some things on social media or stuff like that. Today, there is a lot of interconnection between what you do professionally and what you do personally. If you don't want to see it that way, then, well, sadly, you may not be in 2019. Gone are those days when employers don't check you out on social media. So what you're writing on your CV, make sure it is actually reflected elsewhere, because they will check you out. And there's no way you can block somebody from checking you out, say, on Facebook. I can follow you without being your friend. I can Google you up. For example, even if you are not there, well, I could ask you a few questions. You mean you don't have no social life? A lot of people on social media now, for whatever reason, you don't have no handle at all. I could check. References, you can call somebody, the person can tell you anything about somebody because they have spoken together. But if you go check somebody on social media, there is no way things they had written 1 or 2 years ago, they can change it quickly now just because they think you can go and check them up. And then that one, you may not tell them you are doing it. So it is different from calling somebody they have said is your reference, because that person may actually be waiting for your call. So sometimes you put those references, they don't call those people. They go and check you out elsewhere. And so the certificates don't matter so much or more than the soft skills and the experiences you have had. Even if it's just volunteering experiences, housekeeping, babysitting. When I was in Belgium, those babysitting experiences they counted much more than certificates. Sometimes people don't even want to give you jobs based on your certificates because they may not pay you, like commensurate to those certificates. So when you even put those other things you have done like that, then they are convinced. When you go there as a student, you want something like, even if it is just table cleaning in a restaurant, waitress, stuff like that. You want to go and give somebody CV which has masters in this, first degree, blah, 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 blah. Of course, they will just put the thing aside. They will not even call you. So you actually start to reduce all those certificates things, and you put more of the kind of things that can, what do you want? You just want to hustle. So, frankly speaking, especially for a volunteer, leave those certificates. You can mention them in passing, but don't stress out on them like, okay, fine, you have a master's in what? Human resource. How is that going to help me? I need a volunteer. A volunteer is like a hands-on-deck person, somebody who can run around and can do things and can change tax every day and stuff like that, and can go deliver, stuff like that. So try to calm down a little bit. That is why if you make it to the interview, the drilling is more about every other thing except your certificates. When I was interviewed in Brussels, they did not even ask me whether UB is where or what was I exactly studying for my master's program. No. Okay, what do you think about conference organization? What do you think about reaching out to parliament? Have you ever done such a thing? Or what is this? What do you think about time management? Or do that is it. Those were the things they asked me. And then they asked me, do you have any questions? So what was I to ask them now if I had not done any research about the member of parliament, or about the kind of things she likes, or about the kind of bill she has passed before, or about the kind of commission she is in, and stuff like that. And of course, because of the confidence I had, I asked them, so how much are you really going to offer me? And they were like, oh no, you see, that position was not really a paid position. I said, I know, but with all what I am bringing to the table, I think I deserve something. But you don't get to that point if you have not done any research, if you don't have nothing to offer and stuff like that. So maybe people have to actually start by working on their self-confidence, doing some real research. Stop thinking that it's always like, who do I know who knows her? Some people have reached out to me, and I get some small way, and it did for house, you want volunteer. I'm sorry. I put it there, let them send their applications, proper channel and everything, and I'm going to vet on that. And I mean, everybody I have taken, I have looked at application, CV, cover letter. I am not doing man, no man. Wherever somebody, I even knew somebody, I still followed the right channel. And it was very few times. I learned in life that it doesn't really work for me. So I'm not going to do the same thing in my organization. I'm sorry. And there's one person who actually told me they had to update their CV and everything thanks to me. How do you feel now about that? They feel good about it. They have a CV they can show to anybody at any time. And they have much more actually. They didn't even know that they could tweak it that way, Instead of saying you are working in a salon, say you are maybe the organizer, you are the client, whatsoever person, go and look up all of those things on Google and use correct language. Don't be saying ma and saying job and say position and say some kind of things like that. No. And that is why your cover letter is your opportunity to get called for an interview, even without your CV being studied. That is why people say cover letter. Before it was just CV, or you could maybe somebody just calls my child. But no, now you have to have a cover letter. That is the letter that covers your CV. We look at cover letters before we look at CVs. And cover letter should be just a page. You cannot want to write the cover letter and then your cover letter is longer than your CV. So I will look at that cover letter. It's like the introduction to your essay. Your introduction should actually make me convinced as a lecturer, as an examiner or anything, to read the rest of what you have written. If I cannot make any sense out of your introduction, what am I doing with the rest of the paper? Where do I have that time? I've been a lecturer for 3 years, so I can also talk about that. So what is my impression just by looking at your cover letter, reading your cover letter? It is not called cover letter for nothing. It is also called letter of motivation. As in, motivate me, encourage me to look at your CV, encourage me to call you up. And in some positions, there is first round, second round, third round. Maybe you have 50 people, they need 3 people. What will stand you out? What will make you stand out? Before they even call you, you have to already have appealed to them through your cover letter and then your CV. Because if it's only qualification, how many people have masters in this country? How many people have PhD or are enrolled for PhD? How many people have first degree? We are not more at the level where people with first school or O-level or BTS could just get a job like that. But it is beginning to change again today. People are beginning to realize that it is not more those qualifications because everybody can have them. It is now your attitude. I have somebody in my team who doesn't have masters or whatsoever. I have more faith in this person than even in some people who have masters. Why? Because of your attitude. I'm not saying call me madam, the whole place. But I'm saying show up. I'm saying do the work. And I'm saying if I tell you, can you do this by 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever, and you say yes, then it means you can do it. Let me not remind you at 8:30 or let me not ask you at 10 a.m. what happened. Can you come at 8 a.m. and you say yes, and I take my time and call you at 6:30 a.m. to ask you if you saw that email and you'll be here at 8 a.m. and you say yes, and then you come at 9:15 and you are calling me non-stop. What kind of attitude is that? You don't know your way to the place. You don't ask. Maybe you reach someone, then you start calling. I'm lost. What are we so scared of? Your social media presence. I have talked about it already. We have something. It's called LinkedIn. I don't know how many people have a LinkedIn profile or they have updated or stuff like that. That is kind of like your social CV. your CV, your virtual CV. Some people will just look you up better. I have a cousin who was employed based on his LinkedIn CV, and so many people have also contacted me on LinkedIn. Actually, as a psychotherapist, I have this thing here. I put myself up on business list, businesslist.co.cm, Maria Banga Counseling and Psychotherapy. I just got another client today. Many people, and I mean many people, have reached out to me based on the information on that. How many people with businesses in Cameroon are going to go and put there, especially people like myself, who are like self-employed and stuff like that. Trends are changing. So even you who is looking for that job or for that volunteering opportunity, make sure your social media presence is kind of presentable. If you want to work in a bar, of course, what you do on social media can be anything. After all, the job, it does not need somebody who talks sense or who talks about politics or religion or something. But if you want to be a pastor, the kind of things you post should be things that can lead people to God, or things that can help people to heal, to structure their lives and be spiritual, so that it comes with the integrity and with the respect you need, or all of those kind of things. If you want to be a motivational speaker, the kind of things you talk about should be things that can move people, can motivate people, stuff like that. If you want to be an all-round like myself, okay, well, I can talk about all-round kind of things. I give myself that permission. Yes, and stuff like that, and you can change, you can do that. But you market yourself online. Like the language you use, the fights you take, you hold on Facebook, the comments you leave on other people's posts, the pictures you post, all of those things. If it matters, it will matter. If it doesn't matter, it will not matter. If you're applying for, maybe you want to work in a nightclub, then you can strip everything. Your boss does not care. After all, that's even the kind of person he wants. But if you want to be a corporate somebody and stuff like that, well, then you have to become corporate. And unfortunately, people go on social media nowadays to check their employees because of volunteers, because, well, people have given all kinds of references and written all kinds of things in CVs and cover letters. And then you take them, and after a week or two, you're asking yourself, will I survive? Will I cope with this person? When you take on people, you want people you can also count on. And whether we like it or not, you are going to learn more from that experience than that person. You may think that they're exploiting you, but you are also supposed to be learning. Look at it more of like an opportunity to learn, so that tomorrow you find yourself in that position too. And then now you can, stuff like that. Anyway, as for me, I don't want to take advantage of anybody, and I don't want anybody to come and join my team, and then I have to start thinking 1 week, 2 weeks down the line, did I make a mistake? So when I talk, I always use my personal experiences. That's me. That's my purpose. Now, what is your personal development? What do you think about personal development? What do I even see you write about a book, for example, or stuff, or the kind of things you write? And yes, some people reach out to me who are my friends on Facebook, or friends, I mean like people who follow me. So, of course, I just went to their profile, the kind of thing. It's not the pidgin. I don't care about it. I talk pidgin myself. Pidgin is a language. People use pidgin to do work. Liberia, Sierra Leone, wherever, we use pidgin. So no problem. But if you're just there talking about somebody, or maybe Arafat, or whoever, I don't know, some star, and maybe even fighting with somebody over maybe a picture or my life or care, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, maybe that's not the person I actually need. I am that kind of person myself. So one is enough. I don't need more. So I pass. Who is your mentor? Who are the kind of people you also follow? Who are the people who influence you? There are some, like I received Tembeck Julius. I have received, or I've met Jeff Joybert, Javnu, Sidwan, Leje. I'm talking about young people because I'm talking to young people. So those kind of people, I see them write stuff. I've met them personally. I know that they're more interested, very interested in motivation, in coaching, and inspiring. They're young. They're not 30. So that's your generation. Are those the kind of people you follow? What do you pick up from these people? Or maybe you are after people who are writing about what's going on in people's, I don't know what, So I just choose the kind of people you follow It's just like even in real life. When they look only at your friends, only 3 of your friends, the kind of people you work with, they can already tell. Somebody who drinks alcohol, he will not go and sit in a church. He will sit in a church and do what? Do people drink alcohol in a church? He will sit in a bar. And the people who don't drink alcohol don't sit in bars. So the people who sit in bars are all people who drink. And so those are the kind of people he will hang around, because they will become friends. And then they can talk about their choices, and they can talk about the country collapsing. They can talk about, and then the whole day they spend it there in the bar. And then that is it. But you will not meet people like myself hanging out with those kind of people. No. There may have been a time in my life when I was actually working in a bar. Yes, I could spend the whole day in a bar because that was my business, and one client can come and offer me a top or something, and I can go and sit on their table just to hype them up so that they buy more. But that's no more me. So yes, you could have been that, but you want to change now. That is why people filter their friend list on Facebook. You drop the ones who are no more. Nothing wrong with that. You become more serious. You change the kind of things you talk about. You decide to build your LinkedIn profile, work on it. You may even start a blog. You start to learn. There's some free courses online. You take them. You learn some of those things which are not taught in school, like time management, like talent acquisition or development, or making friends, influencing people. A lot of things I have learned. I don't talk about things that just came into my head like that. So many of the things I know, so much things that I actually learned. When I sit online, sometimes I write, all the things I write. Is it just to impress people or to make noise and stuff? No, it is to inspire. It is to this and that. That is why I don't even care whether people comment or stuff. I don't go after those numbers. That is not, I know why I am doing what I am doing. And when I don't do it, I also know why I am not doing it. You have to get to that stage in your life where you know what you want, and then you take yourself seriously. And then you also show this other person that you are taking them seriously by being serious. You cannot have an interview at 8 a.m. and you show up at 9:30 for whatever reason. And then you had your phone with you all along, and you couldn't even send a message to say, I am sorry, I am stuck in traffic. Please, can I come at, if I had to go out, I had to go out at 8:30. But the person I called, they pushed it to tomorrow. Just imagine I had to go out at 8:30 and you find yourself here in Bonamsudi now, and I tell you I'm not in Bonamsudi anymore. How are you going to feel about that? And then you go and start saying, oh, people are mean. So that's what I wanted to share with us today. And I take my time to do this because I care about our youths. And I have 3 sons. And I have many other children too who call me mom or madam or whatsoever. So I want them to know. I want my children to listen. I tag those I can tag. And I encourage them to always go and listen to my live videos. I save some of them and I make sure they listen to it. For me, it is even much more important than watching Naruto and all of those things. They're growing, they're adolescents. Soon they'll find themselves in the job market. It is not because I have this and everything that it is just automatic for them that they're going to inherit it. No. My son has been volunteering since, even class 7. Working with his grandma in her company, learning how to do things, computer things. Now he can even build website. He created an app, even if the app did not pick up and stuff like that. He's 16. So he has all of that confidence. He can also, he's creating a YouTube channel. He's doing all of that. At the same time, he's taking his studies seriously. Stuff like that. The other one, right up to the I want everybody to be, that it is not easy. So you need to stand up, step up. Don't just sit and relax and say, oh, my mother is this, my father is this, my auntie is this. It may work for you, but for some other people, it doesn't work. And for me, it doesn't work that way anyway. So, well, thank you. If anybody wants to visit me or contact me for more one-on-one, my website is there. It's true that I'm having less time, but I really try to make some time for people who contact me. And basically, if you're a young person, I'm going to do a lot for you, for free, because I know that you people don't have money. That is it. Just like Solange was saying, only children are only people who can misuse her, toss her around, get free services from her. But for some adults, especially people who think their first degree and master's means something, well, you have to pay some small money at least for CV coaching and for those kind of things. So, well, until tomorrow, when I intend to, or Thursday, to talk a little bit more about the project or the work that is coming up. I remain yours, Maria Banga. Thank you so much, all those who joined. Please, if you know young people, share so that they can watch and maybe be inspired. Please, young people, don't condemn me, the messenger. Focus on my message. If it speaks to you, good. If it does not speak to you, forget about the message. But don't waste your time bad-mouthing Maria Banga, okay? God bless us all.